Okay, today we're going to learn about installing the home alert system from Straight Talk. This is a very easy DIY installation. There's no wires to run, so it will probably take you all of, I don't know, maybe like 5 minutes to get this thing installed. Now, before you install it, I would suggest you get it activated. I have another video showing you how to do that and testing it out. That's all in the video. So make sure that it's working before you go on to the installation part of this. And again, this is very easy. The only thing you need to know about installing is that you need to have this device, this head unit, within 6 feet of an outlet, a power outlet, because you do need to plug it in. It does come with this white AC adapter. So again, it needs to be within 6 feet. You can either put it on your counter, just like it is sitting there on right now, or you can mount it on the wall. It does come with screws, and it does have these 2 slots for mounting it on the wall. I suppose you could probably also use double-sided tape if you wanted to, I guess, but in my case I'm just going to set it on the counter. I think that'll be the best thing for me, but as you can see, it does have these little rubber feet on it, so that's no problem with doing it on the counter. The manual says to have at least 4 inches of space all around so that it doesn't interfere with the signal. But anyway, so once you have that plugged in and set in its place, then all you have to do is install your motion sensor. One of the negatives about this system right now is the fact that they're not selling additional sensors just yet. So if you get this right now, you'll only get one of these sensors. Additionally, you can buy these magnetic window door sensors. This add-on, this is the only add-on they have as far as sensors go right now. But I don't recommend this because they're too expensive. This is 30 bucks. So if you were to do this for each and every single one of your doors and windows, then you can do the math on that. 1 or 2 is probably okay to put on your doors, but I think once they start selling the additional motion sensors, then I think probably 2 or 3 sensors is all you'll need, for your average home to cover all entryways and any rooms with windows. The reason why I would go with these is because this thing gives you coverage up to 26 feet, which is just about any room in the house, unless you live in a huge mansion, in which case can't imagine why you'd be getting one of these anyway. But anyway, so this will cover just about any room, any room size. And it does have 120 degrees, so it'll do a good job of sensing, of just really making this a more economical system, and that you only need probably 2 more of these at most, and you get one with a kit, so 3 of these would do the job for an entire house, I think. If you're doing an RV or an apartment or something, then probably all you need is just a kit. So at most, I think to cover a single family house is probably 3 of these, and I think these will probably be 30 bucks once they sell them, just like the other sensor. So all told, you'll probably spend about 200 bucks for the whole thing. But anyway, back to the installation. The first thing you need to do is install the battery on this. And I'm just going to demo it right now. I'm not going to actually mount this on the wall just yet because I don't know where I'm putting this yet. But you need to install the 9-volt battery into your motion sensor, and that is included with the kit. So you just need to unscrew that. You will need a small screwdriver to get that unscrewed, and then put back on. So once you have your battery installed, then you will notice this little green light will turn on periodically. This little green LED. See, so you know that this is working. If you take a look at your head unit, you have a signal which flashes. The manual says that it needs to be steady. Since the minute I've turned this thing on and activated it, it's always flashed. So I wouldn't, if it's flashing and you've tested it and everything's working, then I wouldn't worry about that flashing. As far as I can tell, that's normal. So once you get the battery in your sensor, this thing comes with a handy little mounting bracket. If you wanted to wall mount it, say for example above a door or something, and that just simply slides in like that, and then you would just basically, I would definitely use double-sided tape on this, maybe one of those command strips so that you don't ruin your walls. Those 3M command strips would probably work well with this, but it does have holes for screwing. But again, I mean, that's extra work. I would just do the double-sided tape thing. So you would mount this, say, somewhere, you know, above your entry door, or maybe in the middle of the room up high, and then you'd want to tilt it down a little bit so you can get good coverage. But for this video, we're just going to do a little demo. I'm not actually mounting this anywhere. The other alternative is to put this on a bookshelf or something like that, or on top of a bookshelf. So you could just set this on top of the bookshelf like that. I do recommend you get a little bit of double-sided tape for the bottom because it's not perfectly flat. It wobbles a little bit when set on a flat surface. So we're just going to set this one right there so I can show you how this thing works. I have my phone here because that's where the alerts are coming to. In other words, when this thing is triggered, I'm going to get a text message. You can additionally set it up for a voice call. I'm not doing that. I'm just doing the text message. I think that's good enough. You can do up to 3 separate phone numbers which will all be sent simultaneously. So, you know, if you or your spouse had, if you had this, both you and your spouse could get a text on this. So the first thing we're going to do is, let's pretend we have this installed wherever we want. So we want to arm it, and that's easily done by just hitting away here. That's the basic arm. You also have a stay. What that is basically it'll only turn on one of the zones. So if you're home and you don't want all the sensors turned on at the same time, you would do that. So we'll just do a standard away. You can program different delays so that it lets you walk out the door. You can do up to 120 seconds. So basically what that does is once you program a delay, after you press that, you have that many seconds to walk out the door. That's typically how regular alarms work. And the same thing when this motion sensor gets triggered. So for example, you walk in the door, it's going to give you that long of a delay before it actually, you know, sends text. Now the one thing to note on this is that it's not terribly loud, so even if it went off, it's no big deal. It's just not that loud. You won't hear it outside the house or anything. But that's enough talking there for now. We'll go ahead and demo it. We'll do away, and then you'll notice 2 things, that this light up here turned red. That's the arm. That means it's armed, and that's called active on the device. And then the next thing you notice is that it has a green light under whatever zone you have this programmed to. Out of the box, it'll be programmed to zone 1. I did it to 2 just by messing around with it. And as you can see, I've been moving my hand in front of it, and it is pretty sensitive, and it just turned red, which means it just tripped this sensor. So there it went off. As you can see, the beep is not terribly loud. So the next thing we'll do is we'll get a text message, and there it was. And the text message, all that says is alarm triggered in zone 2 or whatever. And then it also has alerts to tell you when it's enabled or disabled. As you can see there, it says alarm disabled. I just disabled it. So that's all there really is to this thing. It's really basic. I really I really like it so far. It's easy to install, it's easy to operate, and it seems to be very reliable thus far. The motion sensor does a good job of detecting even slight motion, but not super sensitive, so that you get a ton of false alarms.